Hello, I'm Sanal Hafiz from the Polytechnic State of Pontianak. I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Paul said that we don't need to blame Korean as the beauty standard because the role model could come from by Western, not only K-pop. Long hair, for example, hair color is relative, but we, as a government team, said that believe that many people take the standard of an individual based on their idol, right? Which mean in this case is K-pop idol. And second rebuttal to the opposition team that we are likely to glorify between Asia and Western. You cannot take an example as Korea to represent in Asia because Asia is wider. Asia is wider. The beauty of Asia are different from around of Asia. Asia represent brown. Asia also represent black, and Asia also represent white, for example. And that's why the standard of the beauty itself is really relative. Ladies and gentlemen, by two rebuttals that I said before, it is true that K-pop industry trend tend to discriminate people by color, right? In this case, girl and woman as the actors are likely to comparing themselves with another one. Then they tend to be insecure when they aware that they didn't qualify as a beautiful girl in their region, for example. And this is truly why feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. And to stronger my argument, I would like to give you a point by example that why our government team really doesn't agree with K-pop industry. Based on what OO said that Asia as Korean also beautiful, Asian is also beautiful, not only Western. Yes, we are agree with that statement, but the beauty with itself comes with the natural. What we need to be proud of when we see that many Korean actresses trying to doing some kind of surgery, and can you imagine how is the operation is look like? What about the surgery that they do is fail? How can you imagine that how they feeling when they likely to in the operation room that they see that they face, for example, when they surgery this face, they see that it is they see that their face is really strange because the surgery itself is unsuccessful. How they feeling when they face things, ladies and gentlemen. And my second argument is based from the psychology aspect. We know that um, Korean industry have a lot of fans around the world, right? For example, like BTS. Yeah, what is it means that when Korean is spread around the world? I didn't take a lot of problem to the fans. Yeah, but I take my concentration in this case is about their psychology. They tend to be overreacting to their idols, and what happened when they doing so? It's absolutely really bring more harm than good to themselves because they think that being a fanboy, a fangirl is something good, but I see in this current situation itself, the feminist movement should aggressively oppose the keep industry because the overreacting that made by themselves is really not normal, ladies and gentlemen. So in conclusion, that I said that feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. Proud to propose. Thank you.
My name is Farhana Nuroma Fazia, and I'm from Polytechnic Negeri Pontianak, and I'm gonna start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, all people are beautiful, not just women, but also men. The feminist movement is not only the usual movement, but before we go there, we have to understand that movement is from the beginning. What is a movement is from the beginning. A movement is an organized effort by a large group of people to achieve a particular goal, while the feminist movement is a movement to uphold the rights of women all around the world. Now, the OO should take notes that on all this definition before they stated their arguments, because ladies and gentlemen, notice that how the OO team say that all the blame is for the K-pop industry for setting up the standard. They be blaming the women for not having the audacity to stand up for themselves and being insecure that they should pick or create their own beauty standard. Well, my point here is indirectly the OO has taken our place as government since they agreed on how to how the K-pop industry is bad by blaming them, and that's how the point is going to be on our side of the house. Now, ladies and gentlemen, their mechanism is not explaining on how to get all these women to not to be insecure or to love themselves in details from the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. The OG's mechanism is an uncooked mechanism that they blame without explaining how. Meanwhile, on our side of the house, think that all these problems are rooted from the beauty standard that the K-pop industry has stated that the K-pop industry start making from the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. That my first speaker, the closing government first speaker, has already stated that the fact that at the Korean status quo, women are tempted and even have surgeries, for example, nose, tights, and then cheekbones, eyes, eyelids, and so on and so forth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the OG do not see how the K-pop influences in almost every aspect in physical appearance in all over the world, specifically in Korea and Indonesia, because, ladies and gentlemen, from the news that we all already know, from the media that we already seen and heard, that 8 of 10 out of 10 women in Korea, they had surgeries over their the slightest body that they have. For example, they have surgeries over the eyelids and so on and so forth. Now, how are they so very tempted? Why are they so very tempted and even had their surgeries at the very first place? Now, if we look at the commercials break, if we look at the advertisement that the Korean or the Indonesian have in television or on the YouTube, we all can see that the most of them they have lotions. They're not for the black or the warm toned skin, but they are made for the white or the lightening skin from the very first place. And then second, for example, hair. They are currently at the current status quo, and from the past time we already seen that black and shining hair has more beneficial to all the women in all over the world, specifically Indonesia and in Asia. And the third one is, for example, the body slimming products. We all can see that if we have slim body, then you can be a model or you can be a beauty pageant. Like they tend to make the slim person is more has more benefit than the person that has bigger body, ladies and gentlemen. Now, move to the next argument that the OO has already stated, that K-pop is innovative. The K-pop is a diversity industry, where we all can see that Koreans are a white skin race from the very first place, right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, why are they saying that Korean is a diversity country, that K-pop is a diversity industry, while Koreans are already making it all the standard that has the slim body or the white skin race is more in a higher level than any of other race, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, that they say that they are making a white skin woman a goddess, ladies and gentlemen. And then after that, what I'm going to state is how the OO said that the K-pop industry is a profit-oriented industry, that they don't care about either you want to follow them or not, that they're just following standards, that they have demand so that they do what the market is telling them to do. But the OG don't get to be aware. They are not aware that the market or the demand will not stop because the K-pop industry are still supplying the demands. To begin with, the K-pop industry is not going to take any responsibility for their actions. That has been stated by the OO, unluckily, and that is the exact reason of why, as a government, why we as a government support feminist movement to oppose the K-pop industry, because they get profit from making other people miserable, ladies and gentlemen, by harming other people. That they're making other people wasting their money to be someone that they're not, to be someone that they are not going to be proud of, that they're not going to be enough from the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. Now, notice that from the very first place, every gender has the tendency of being bullied, assaulted, and sexualized. Why am I stated this? Because the OO from the very first place, they don't state anything about feminist movement. They just said about K-pop industry, why K-pop is not going to be a problem from the very first place, because the personal preference itself, that they are going to own the beauty standard, is not going to be a problem if the person is not going if the person can control themselves, and so on and so forth. But now go back to the motion, which notice that from the very first place, every gender has the tendency of being bullied, assaulted, and socialized. But how is it we call it as a feminist movement, not managed movement? That, ladies and gentlemen, is because women don't have the same right as men at society, that they don't get to defend themselves like men. But how is this matter be engaged to this motion? Because, ladies and gentlemen, as we can see, all the K-pop industry, they have been sexualized more than half of their lives, because we all can see all the news and the gossips that the K-pop idol are being sexually assaulted, and so on and so forth. And that is why the feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, because they're making fun and they're making a joke of themselves from being an idol self. Now, to summarize my points under this motion, which is this House believes that feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, because every person, ladies and gentlemen, has the right to express themselves. Every woman has the freedom to be everything that they want, without having to worry about all the standards that society have, or the standards that society make, without having to change a single thing they already born with and not be ashamed of it. And that's why this feminist movement is very, very crucial, that they should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. Thank you so much, and that's the argument and mechanism that we're proud to propose. Thank you.